fantasy football. We are back. Look at this IKEA action.
My wife said, I've been talking about getting something we can stand behind for long enough. She went ahead and ordered me it because, you know, she just knows I'm procrastinating. I'll never get it done.
Have that Kohl's cash ready to roll.
Where's my hand? Yeah, get the Kohl's cash going. All right.
We're going to give you some value. We're going to say 3 running backs that you need to get up on just because where they're getting drafted at, you really can get your money's worth, and then 3 guys that we think are a bit overpriced. Maybe you want to wait on them.
Yeah, the type of guys that are just surrounded by guys that have way better floors or ceilings, or possibly even both. All right, we're going to lead it off with the overvalued.
All right, overvalued. Let's take a look at some of these running backs here. For me, I'm looking at a guy like Damian Williams, who's going currently the 9th pick in the 2nd round. And I feel like he is a guy that is a reason why you need to lock up an RB1 in your 1st round.
Yeah, you're taking, if he's going in, what did you say, the 9th
pick in the 2nd round.
So you're talking about, you had the 4th pick in the 1st round. So you got one, that's sexy boy running back territory. That's the Barkleys, the Alvin Kamaras, the Zekes, the Christian McCaffrey.
So you're guaranteed one of those.
So you're saying, coming back to you in the 2nd, I mean, there is just a slew of sexy deluxe wide receivers that you can take instead of taking Damian Williams. I mean, guys even going right before him and after him, like Juju, Antonio Brown. Mike Evans, and even...
I mean, Mike Evans locked and loaded. Had an incredible year last year. His volume's only looking to get an uptick this year.
And even T.Y. and Hilton, who are going early 3rd round. I mean,
even a guy like you,
T.Y. and Thielen,
I was going to say, you got Thielen. I mean, if
I'm not even a Thielen believer.
If you want to go down a little further, let's look at the 7th pick in the 3rd round. We have Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen isn't overly exciting by any means, but he is locked in, going to be in that 10 to 14 PPR range every year at the wide receiver position. He's going to catch you those 90 balls for 1,100 yards with about 6-7 touchdowns. You can just lock up that value.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason that you need to take the risk on a Damian Williams being your RB2 at this point in the draft. That is just absolutely insane. You already sewed up a sexy boy. It's time to sew up a sexy boy wide receiver 1 at the back end of the 2nd. And like we said, that is very capable. You can easily do that. I mean, my God, Mike Evans is going, like the 2nd to last pick in the 2nd round?
Yeah, he's going 9th pick in the 2nd round.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, how are you going to go ahead and pick Damian Williams over a guy like Mike Evans? That is insane. All right, another guy that we are talking about avoid at all costs, and I have him in one of my keeper leagues. He is my 4th or 5th keeper out there in a 5-keeper league. It's Sony Michel going in that 3rd round. If you look at it, I mean, my goodness. He's going 311 and half point PPR right now. And guys going right around him are Aaron Jones, Freeman, Henry, and the guys around later are Lindsey, Kerryon, Mark Ingram, Josh Jacobs, and Chris Carson. And then the only guys I said that I'd probably take Sony over are Chris Carson and Aaron Jones.
I mean, at this point, there's just so many guys, and really, he's not going to be catching balls. So if we're talking full PPR point, there are so many guys even down this list that you can snatch up that I really think is going to put up more value. And like I said, at this spot in the draft where I feel like the late 2nd and throughout the entire 3rd round is really a great opportunity to land one of these wide receivers.
I mean, you look at it, and guy like a rookie coming to the Bears and David Montgomery going early 7th round.
7th round.
Can you tell me, are you willing to take the bet that you guarantee Sony Michel is going to have more fantasy points than David Montgomery in half point or full point PPR? I don't think you can.
We're talking about a 3-round swing at least.
A good 3.5 round swing. I mean, that's just insane. If you can't guarantee this guy's going to outscore a 7th round pick, I don't think you have any business taking him in the 3rd round. I mean, even guys like Derrick Henry, it's crazy, but I think Derrick Henry's workload is more secure than Sony Michel's. Patriots are talking about running into game days with 5 active running backs. That is insane. 5 active. I mean, I know these guys, the Burkheads, of the world aren't in Brandon Bolden's the special teamer, right? Yeah. He's just more of a special teams guy. But I mean, you telling me
they drafted the rookie. they've got Burkhead, they've got Michelle, they've got James White.
Yeah, James White role is not going away. He is going to be the one catching the passes. And you're looking at third-round picks. I like to think of my third-round pick, I have to look for consistency. And there's no way if they have 5 running backs active on game day that you're going to get anything of consistency with Sony not catching passes.
All right, let's get one more guy that we think is a little overvalued. And I don't know, this might be a bit of a hot take. But we're going to say middle second round, overvalue on Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's probably going to start out sexy deluxe for you until, Kareem Hunt comes back. But Nick Chubb's the type of guy who's probably not going to be catching a lot of balls. So he's going to need that 18 to 20 carries a game to really be your sexy boy.
He had 20 receptions all of last year. He's not getting it done in PPR. From a standard standpoint, I feel like maybe mid-second round. But when we're talking about PPR, when there's so many running backs here in the second, third round that really are going to be catching 50, maybe even 60 balls, getting a guy who's going to catch realistically probably in the 30, 35 range throughout a full season of getting the workload. But then again, this second round pick, this value could be dead come week 13, 14 playoff times if Kareem Hunt really plays like he's capable of playing.
Yeah, I'm just not ready to take... Nick Chubb, I know running backs are at a premium, but Nick Chubb is going over the likes of Juju right now. That is insanity.
Yeah, just above Juju, just above Antonio Brown. I know people are scared about Oakland, but down year last year and still was top 5 PPR wide receiver. All he needed was like 10 PPR points to be the number 1 wide receiver on the year.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do as good as he did in Pittsburgh, but this draft position is
we're talking a full round
weighing
difference.
that in. It's weighing that in. He was going first, second wide receiver off the board in the mid first round, and this
now
is
we're
a full
talking.
round
Let's
difference.
see, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Seventh
6, 7.
seventh
Seventh
pick
wide
in the
receiver
second.
off the board.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's pretty chalk. I feel like right now, if you said at the end of the year, Antonio Brown, 7th wide receiver, over under, I feel like that's right about where he's going to be.
I think he's going the perfect spot because all the guys in front of him, I wouldn't say he's going to outscore, and all the guys behind him, I think he has a very good chance just on pure volume alone of outscoring. Because I think he's still going to get his 150 targets no matter where he is.
I feel like he's still going to be in that 90 to 110 catch range, maybe like closer to 1,300 yards. But I feel like touchdown, he's still going to be about that 8-10 range.
Yeah. I think the targets are not going anywhere for Antonio Brown.
All right. How about some guys here that we actually like where they're going?
And I'm really feeling me some Kerryon Johnson. I think, he left a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. The missing the last 6 games of the regular season. People are questioning his durability. Well, Garrett Blount was out there stealing touchdowns and whatnot. But if you look at it, this guy had 32 catches in those 10 games where he was active.
So you're talking about 50 to 60 catches more than likely if he plays the full load here.
Yeah, and then you look at where he's being drafted, and it's kind of like right before that questionable cliff, like guys you really don't want but feel kind of right about. Like he's going right before what? Darius Geis, Kenyon Drake.
Let's talk 2 guys that are right above him, 2 guys below him. All right, Kerryon Johnson. We're talking guys like Phillip Lindsay, Josh Jacobs. Okay, maybe taking those 2 guys, but just below, Chris Carson, which we don't know at this point. This might be a total 50 split. Rashad Penny could totally take over this job. And then, like you said, Darius Geis. Tariq Cohen,
and they're talking. Pete's talking about mystery. Chris Carson's only going to be out for so long in OTAs, but Pete Carroll's kind of a smoke blower out there. I don't know. This could be. We might be see Chris Carson missing a little bit of training camp. If that's the case, that opens the door wide open for Rashad.
These guys right below Kerryon. We're talking Jordan Howard is only a couple slots before being drafted.
Like I said,
Lamar Miller only a couple slots being drafted after him.
He is right there, right at the edge of gross, baby. He is that RB2. You get Kerryon, or you're looking at the likes of desert islands. Like, you can't be going to the season with Kenyon Drake as your RB2. Oh.
I like to get some stock of Kenyon Drake, but I don't know how I feel about him getting in the 4th round.
No, can't do it. He's going early 5th right now, but still can't do it.
All right, let's talk about a guy And one thing, too, I know they just reiterated that they really want to be a run-first team this year. They want to truly change the course what Detroit has been that we've known for so long. They want to be a run-first team. And even though they're talking about limiting Carrion's workload, C.J. Anderson might be a little bit better than LeGarrette Blount this year, but I really feel like they're going to put the talent out there. And like they said, be a run-first team.
He's catching balls.
I feel like he really is going to be a very solid RB2 for you.
In each game that he got at least 14 carries in, he had 100 yards or a touchdown.
I think it was either 14 carries. Yeah.
It's very solid production. And given at least 14 carries, he got either 100 yards or a touchdown out there. Getting it sexy. When given the workload, he has proven that he can get it done. And I don't think there's any reason why in his second year. I mean, Matt Patricia's job might be on the line out there his second year if he goes out there and shits the bed again in Detroit. I mean, they might be like, all right, buddy, you're out of here. I mean,
Did beat New England, though. When's the last time Detroit's beat New England?
That's the only thing he has to hang his hat on.
That's his resume so far.
That is. That's his only resume.
All right, if you're watching the mock draft video, you know that I absolutely love this play. We're talking right at the border, the turn between the third and the fourth round, Mark Ingram here. We're going to the team that ran the ball more than anyone this past season. I know Lamar Jackson had a lot of carries, but I really don't expect him to average 15 carries a game this season. No, can't happen.
Now if they want to keep him on the field, that can't happen.
I mean, they might not want him struggling to throw the ball in practice. But I think Mark Ingram, he went to the perfect spot. There's really no other running backs that I really see that compete with him. There's just really no one in this backfield that I feel like is really pushing up for touches.
I mean, they'll probably give him a blow with the Gus bus or whatever, give that a ride for a series or so. But, I mean, I don't think there's any way where Mark Ingram's not getting 15 to 18 touches a game. I just don't think there's any way.
No, and like in the mock draft video, I talked about his last 3 seasons when he carried the ball for a dozen or more times. Not total touches, but carried the ball 12 or more times. It was 29 times in the last 3 seasons, and you take the average per game, and he would have been the 6th PPR running back last year. I mean, I know that's a little skewed, but we're talking the possibility of an early 4th round running back to put up top 10 RB numbers at the PPR position. I feel like this is a locked and loaded, your second running back off the board.
I mean,
if you can get him as your second running back on your team, you got to feel really nice.
Yeah, I mean, you go and take an Aaron Jones or a guy like Mark Ingram, like that's just crazy to me. I mean, I just think Mark Ingram can be that guy that you got in that late 3rd, early 4th round, and all of a sudden he's a back end RB1 out there. And people are just mad because they're just salted away. They got, for some reason, they're drafting redraft, but thinking dynasty for some reason, thinking about, we've seen what Mark Ingram do. Well, we've never really seen Mark Ingram with, like, a run-first offense, because New Orleans was never a run-first offense. And
I mean, they only were when they had Kamara as well with it. And then again, he split in the backfield. And in the first year they had Kamara, he was still like a top 5 PPR running back.
I mean, yeah, he was. They've been very.
I mean, they worked well together. All right, how about one more here?
Give him one more. Usually don't like to include rookies in the list like this, but I just think the fact that he's a Raider is scaring everybody off.
I mean, I know that we're not talking as a high-priced drafted running back. Like, say, a guy like Fournette was like a top 10 pick. We had Elliott, who was 4th overall. We had Barkley go 2 overall. And all those guys were going 1st round as a rookie in fantasy. But Jacobs, I know he was drafted a little later. We're talking 4th round on a team that last year the running back position caught over 100 balls.
Yeah, like 110 balls combined out of the running back position with your Jalen Richards and
Washington and
DeAndre Washington. I mean, my God, just the island of misfit toys out there. I think Gruden is all in on Josh Jacobs. I think they will give him a blow because everybody gets a blow out there at the running back position nowadays, but I mean, you even see Wayne Gallman's fucking ass out there for saying Saquon Barkley sometimes. Everybody gets a blow. I just think that, out of those 110 balls that were caught from the running back position
last year. How is that not like 60, 70?
How is that not 60? Jalen Richard had like 63 last year. How is that not Jacobs? Like, why would you even think about Richard being on the field when you can just have when Jacobs is just as good at catching the ball and way
he's
more
fresh.
better running back?
I mean, he might be one of the freshest rookies coming out here at the running back
Richard's
position.
a warm body deluxe. That's all he is. He's a warm body, bub.
But like I said, fresh legs here. In Alabama, they really didn't play him unless they absolutely had to. They had the luxury of having other solid running backs on the roster. This guy, when in the lineup, was the go-to guy for Alabama when they needed him most. But here's a guy who, I mean, I really don't see him having a long drought where we're talking about weeks 1 to 10 that he shows up and then down the stretch he fades away. I feel like the full season he can be there for you and come fantasy playoff time, putting up solid high-end RB2 numbers.
Over under on 250 touches.
I might give it an under. What do you think?
I think
250 is a lot.
if we're giving him the 60, that's 190 carries plus the 60 receptions. So that's not too many carries.
I'm thinking like 230, 240. Like, but I really feel like he's gonna be. How about fantasy points here? How about like 230 fantasy points?
Yeah, I think he can be a very high-end RB2. I mean, it's still the Raiders. They still have to score touchdowns for him to really get Sexy Deluxe into that RB1 conversation. But I think he can get into that RB1 conversation. And if you're talking about fourth-round guys that can you look at some of these other guys, like, can Chris Carson get into the RB1 conversation? I mean, he did last year, but I don't think that's in the cards.
No. I don't want to say last year's a fluke, but I really feel like they just tried to do everything they could to not let Rashad Penny push up on
His
him.
running style is that of not longevity.
No, it's like a Latavius Murray
Marion
style.
Barber, he's hacking out there. Marion Barber lost his goddamn mind. If nobody's heard any updates on Marion Barber lately, I suggest you look into it because Marion Barber has lost his goddamn mind.
All right, there it is. There is your running backs. We're talking value here. Make sure to stay tuned because we are going to catch you up with those wide receivers very soon.
Cheeseburger.